Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. This evening we'll be discussing about the Bhagavad Gita, the 12th chapter, and the way of devotion, the Bhakti Yoga. This is organized by, this particular discourse is organized by the Vedanta Studies Circle of Naperville. So now let us begin with the stotra. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarashinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadeshinim Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Charnuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagat Gurum. Jagat Guru, the world teacher, the Lord Krishna. We salute to the Lord Krishna, and then we begin studying, the reading this wonderful scripture of the Hindus, that is Bhagavad Gita. We already studied up to 8, but we'll just to recapitulate and then we will proceed from there. Sri Shankaracharya is pointing out that from the first chapter up to the 10th chapter, the Lord is explained about the Supreme Brahman without any attributes, Nirakara Brahman. This is the every Hindu should remember that though we are having millions of gods and goddesses and so many images, but our ultimate is God without any form. So this is the way. The first chapter to 10th chapter is all Nirakara, without any attributes. 11th chapter, the same God took the form. So both without form, with form. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna again and again insisting on that, the with form and without form. You cannot limit God. God is all powerful. And if He wants, through His power, He can take the form. So 11th chapter is the form. Up to 10, it was all without form. 11, form. Arjuna will get confused. Arjuna is the representative, the human representative. So Arjuna, he says, but then tell me, which one is the best? Saguna Brahma or Nirguna Brahma? Guna means the qualities, the epithets. And what are those epithets? Sattva, Raja, Tama. And what is this Sattva, Raja, Tama? The qualities. The I love, affection, all the love, affection, all the best qualities, Sattva. Mixed is the Raja. Mixed means with ahamkara, with ego. And completely ego-based, completely negative is the Tama. The Sattva, Raja, Tama. Hindus are very much concerned about this. And religion is the practice to develop Sattva Guna. Then go beyond the Sattva Guna, etc. So this is the whole thing of the whole spiritual practice, only to first reach to Sattva, pure Sattva, and then go beyond that too. When we go beyond that, what remains? No one can say. It is only the experience. self-experience, subjective experience. And that is called the Brahma Jnana. Here when the Arjuna, he said, well, then what is the good one, best one? Then Sri Krishna is telling, Lord replying, those who believe that worshipping me, here the me is not only Krishna, here the me, that Brahman, who has come in the form of Krishna, as the Saguna Brahma is the ultimate, and meditate on me, they are great yogis. Yogis means they get associated. Yoga yukta. In the Sanskrit word yoga means united. United with what? United with the supreme truth. This supreme truth is nothing but the consciousness. The consciousness, all pervading consciousness. This is the supreme truth. Those who are thinking me as the supreme and then meditating on me in that way, they are the great yogis. But those unaffected by any pair of opposites meditate on the unmanifest, eternal truth. They merge in me, the Brahman. This is the second verse and the third verse. I am just summarizing. So Arjuna asking Saguna Brahma, those who are worshipping Saguna Brahma, what will happen to them? They will also come to me. Nirguna Brahma, they will merge in me. This is the two. Those who are Saguna Brahma, the Dvaita, they don't want to merge with the God. So it says that is the beauty of the Hinduism. It always gives the importance on the attitude of the person. And the person is thinking, well, I don't like to merge in God. I like to see the divine play of God. I like to be with God. So Salakka, Saruppa, Sayujya, all these they are calling, they say these are the ultimate. But some people say enough is enough. We like to merge in that, like to become that. No separation from the Supreme. So that is the third and fourth verse. Then the Lord gives the caution to those who are trying to merge. Nirguna Brahma. There is no appetite, no manifestation, no form. How you will do that? It remains tremendous mental strength. Those who are having in the form a form that is God or Goddess, they can go, they can pray, they can have some place, someone to discuss. So their mind can get easily concentrated. But those who are thinking, they will merge into that ultimate Brahman without appetite. Nothing is there. It is only you that is left. So the ultimate Vedanta. There is no second. So it is only you. Really tough. Very tough. So he is giving the caution, the very careful. Then the Lord gives that caution on the Brahman without appetites. Nirguna Brahman is very difficult to achieve. And those accept my Saguna Brahma form and dedicate the fruits of their action to me, consider me as their supreme goal, I verily protect them from all danger. Then 6th and 7th, he said, I protect them. To whom? They believe me in this form. The form, any form it may be. That's why the Hindu gods and goddesses are so many. In America, they call it Hindu temple. If you go to the Hindu temple, there will be so many gods and goddesses. And no problem. No fighting. No nothing. No differences. Why? Because we believe that any God, I think, that my favorite, it is my God. And what will happen if I am concentrating and dedicating my action to that God? concentrating on that God, accepting that God or Goddess at the ultimate, and whatever the action I am doing, I am dedicating to them, to that God or Goddess. These are all sadhanas. These are all the processes. And what will be the result? Protection from the God. God will protect him. So this is up to 7. Now comes the 8. 8 is the first option God is giving to these people. Now we will start from the 8. Mayeva mana adhasya mayi buddhim nibeshaya nibaseshasi ma eva ata urdham na samshayah. If you are dedicating to me, or is telling that first option, now Lord is suggesting you try to fix your mind on me. Mai eva mana adhyasya. Fix your mind on me. That means concentration, meditation, constantly thinking of the God of that particular form. Mai buddhim niveshaya. Mana and buddhi, why is two separate? The mana is that is all our thoughts, it should go, but the buddhi is different. Buddhi is the ahamkara. Buddhi, where the ultimate consciousness, the supreme consciousness, reflection of that supreme consciousness on the part of the mind which is called intellect, and that is called ahamkara. Ahamkara is dangerous, though it is only reflection, but it thinks that it is real. If the moon starts thinking, I am giving the light to the world, where is sun now? In the daytime only it comes. In the night when people need light, I am giving the light. It will be like that. Isn't it funny? What is the light of the moon? It is a reflection of the sun's light. The same way when we are thinking, I will give the protection. All the asuras, those who have read the different stories of the Hindus and Puranas, all the asuras. What is the asuras? Only this. They will be telling, I am giving you the protection, I am giving you the food, worship me, accept me, honor me. But who are you? Reflection. If you are a reflection, why should I go to you? This much only to understand and nothing else. The all over whatever we see is nothing but the reflection. The moment we can understand these truly, we go beyond all the problem. So in the 8th verse, the first option the Lord is giving, well, no problem. Fix your mind. That means all the impressions that you are having in that, forget about that. Fix your mind on me. That's why Hindus, they have developed japa. Japa and prarthana. Japa means repetition of the name of God, and at the same time you are going on praying to the same God. It may be any God or God, it doesn't matter at all. But the more it is good form, the more it is good for you, because you are concentrating. And whatever the form you are concentrating and the qualities of that particular God or Goddess will come to you. You will imbibe those qualities. So choose a good one and then concentrate. Then it says, also the buddhi. Why buddhi? Ahamkara. So there should not be ahamkara. Oh, I am now, let me test this, whether I am getting the benefit out of this or I will go and change. No. In that case, God is not there. The first option, Mai eva manu adhyasya mai buddhim niveshaya. Give your ego, your I, your intellect, your all judgment, your all those things should come to me. When Narendranath Datta, the young boy, very intelligent and the personality, that he will never accept anything without judging. He came to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, went on arguing with him. What is this? What is that? Then ultimately dedicated. And you know what the Narendranath said afterwards? Who became famous as Swami Vivekananda? This whole life I have sold to that poor Brahmin. A জীবন ওই ব্রাহ্মণকে বিক্রি করে দিয়েছে। I have given everything of my life. So you have to dedicate completely, no ego. Because you understood that whatever he is telling and asking to do, that is sufficient for me. This great faith. So that he says, Ata urdham na samsaya. Urdham means, it means that you will go to God. You will realize God. All problem will be solved. And the ninth, it says, second option. Atha chittam samadhatum nashaknoshi mai sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. Dhananjaya. Here Dhananjaya, Arjuna, he collected the huge wealth. Because naturally, to run the country you need. So he went out and collected the fund, etc. And they calling him as Dhananjaya, the one who conquered the dhana, the wealth. That means you are mighty, you are powerful. So you have to understand, Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi. The first option was, meditate on me and give your whole soul, your mind and your ego, your intellect. Well, if you can't do that, second option, practice. Try and try again and again. So this try, Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi. Suppose shaknoshi, you are not able to concentrate in that way. Don't lose heart. No, it is not possible for me. Not like that. Go on trying again and again and again. Every day, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, like the true farmer. The farmer will never leave the land. Sometimes it is not raining. There are challenges, but it will be in the land only. It will go, it will cultivate, then try to do something. Because that is called traditional farmers. They love the land. And that way you have to go on. Well, today I couldn't concentrate. My mind was thinking so many different things. Let it be. I have to get up in the morning, I have to wash, and then I will go and sit on that particular seat. I will try to meditate. I will try to repeat the name of God. I will go on doing. Whether I can meditate properly or not, whether I get the peace or not, it doesn't matter to me. I have to try, I will try. So the Guru is very, very essential. And the faith on the words of Guru is also very essential. If you don't have the faith on the words of the Guru, then you cannot achieve anything. You are thinking, I know, I will try, I will do this way. No. Whatever the Guru has said, I must do that. And if you can do that way, what will happen? Your ego will be lessened. Your ego will go away. Not me, but thou. That is the way, that is the spiritual life goes in that way. Not me, but thou. Guru said that every morning get up and take the name of God as maximum time possible. I will do that. Just do that. So he says, Abhyasa yogena tata. By that way, Abhyasa yoga, mamichhaptum. Mam ichhaptum. Try to reach me, realize me, the God. Abhyasa yoga. If you are regularly going on practicing, you'll be perfect. Practice makes a man perfect. So by that way it says, Abhyasepya samarthosi mat karma paramo bhava. The third option. First, second, this is the third. Suppose you cannot do that even because your mind is very restless. Okay, in that case, mat karma paramo bhava. You better do my work, not your work, my work. So they are karma yoga. The karma yoga first is the jnana yoga, then the abhyasa yoga, then dhyana yoga, then karma yoga. One after another, God is giving the option. No, sir, it is impossible to do that every time. Well, karma yoga. What is the karma yoga? Again, you are not doing your work. You are doing my work. How you will know that it is you are not doing your work? You may think that I should do the work in this way and this way and this way, and suppose it is okay. Then someone, the guru says or the teacher says, no, not that. I am not accepting. Do in this fashion. Okay, no problem. If you have that capacity to accept immediately, and that is called karma yoga. No problem. I will try to do that way also. No problem. So that is called karma yoga. In the Ramakrishna mission is a mixture of all the 4 yogas. So we are studying the Bhagavad Gita, analyzing the Bhagavad Gita, trying to understand the truth through analysis. Jnana yoga. Then every morning we are worshipping the God. Now here we purchase flowers. Otherwise, in most of the places where it is warm, we grow the flowers. We go and pluck the flowers in the morning. We bathe and go and pluck and then come and put it in a very nice way. And the aesthetic sense should be there. And the flowers will come and throw the flower. Not like that. Very aesthetic way you have to. If you notice that the way the garland, the flower garland they prepare, very aesthetic sense should be there. Beauty. So that way also. Then you are sitting for meditation. That is Bhakti Yoga. The Jnana Yoga, then the Bhakti Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. After that, you sit for meditation. You concentrate your mind on the particular mantra that the Guru has given to you. Then that way you are meditating. Then Karma Yoga also. In all over where the people need the services and the government, the society are not ready to do that, the Ramakrishna Mission Swamis will be doing all the philanthropic work. They will go on writing to the different people, rich people, can you please help us with some money? And they will go door to door to collect some fund, not for themselves, for these poor people. They will start the school, colleges, hospitals, and so many ways. At the time of national calamities, then they will go and serve the people. Why? They could meditate. Why they should go to all those things? And they don't want anything. No name, no fame. Even when they go, instruction is don't carry the cameras. But nowadays modern people, they are having the camera all the time in their phones. But no, nothing like that. They will go, they will serve, they will come back, they will forget those people. Why? I am not serving the people, I am serving my God. The God in that particular form, in the distressed condition. I am going and I am becoming humble. Oh God, you have given me the opportunity to feed you, to give you clothing and give you medicine. So that is called Karma Yoga. The combination of all that. So that Ramakrishna Mission practice in that way. And here the Lord is telling, option these, option these, option these. Abhyasi asaktum oshi mat karma paramo bhava. You do my karma. When you are performing my karma and without, oh, this is the not good work, that is the good work, that I should do. No, not like that. God's karma, whatever He has given, I will do. Madartam api karmani kurban siddhim abhapsasi. And if you are doing the job, the work for me, you are sure that you will get the siddhi, the success. And what is the success? God realization. Only by karma. So I have heard, I have not seen that Swami. Then it is a very well-known story among the monks in the Ramakrishna, the order. The one Swami was there, he was to work a lot constantly, day, night. He will be going here, serving people, the poor children. He will be giving them bath. He will be washing them all the time. Sometimes his friends, other Swamis used to say, we never see you in the temple. You don't go to the temple, you are not meditating, you are not doing any prayer. Wow, how you are Why you are wasting your time in this way? Only work. You must have to go and meditate. I cannot meditate. I cannot do the japa. What the Guru has given, I try to remember that, but I like to see God in these living beings, the suffering beings. His last day came at the time of his death. It was in the Calcutta, in our own hospital. The Ramakrishna Mission is having the hospital. There one block is there for the monks. That is called Premananda Dhama. So that there, all the monks, the ailing Swamis, they were there. He was also there. It was almost the last time he will be dying. Suddenly one night, he went on calling all the Swamis who were sleeping. They were all sick. Hey, get up, get up, get up. Now Thakur Maha Swamiji has come and they are calling me. I am going with them. Come. Can you imagine? He went, he pushed them and then asked them to get up, and then he came to his own bed. He sat over there. Oh, Thakur Maha Swamiji has come. And so great joy. With great joy, it just passed away. This is truth. This is not story. So the Lord is telling, and these lives, they prove the scripture. The Gita is a scripture. Gita is telling this is this, but this is also true, and it has been practiced in the life of some people. Abhyasa pi asamarthasi mat karma paramo bhava madartham api karmani kurban siddhim abhapsasi. Swami Vivekananda, he saw the suffering of the monks. Particularly in those days, there was no medicine, no hospital, very few doctors, and that too also only for the rich people. So the monks in the Uttarakhand area, and now it is all now developed places, and he asked his disciples, whoever will go and serve these ailing monks will get Brahma Jnana. There are two Swamis immediately volunteered. We will go. And they went over there, and the little medicine, whatever, and they took the book, and then they used to mainly, the Swamis there all alone sitting under a tree, meditating, some problem. Now they decided most of the Swamis used to go to Nildhara. There is a water place. They will go and sit inside the water and slowly kill themselves. No, they used to bring those ailing Swamis, they used to serve them, give them medicine, and they used to be all right. Though these Swamis never respected them. Oh, as a monk you are doing the very nasty work. This is for other people. Monks should only meditate. Wrong conception. But Swami Vivekananda broke it. And how he broke? These two Swamis, they were highly respected. And they are in one function that's called the monks, they went over there for Bhandara. That is the term they use. Bhandara means all the monks will come and the devotees will feed. This is really, they consider is a very holy act. In that Bhandara, the authority, the ashrama, those who were organizing, didn't invite these two Swami. Why? They don't meditate, they don't have temple. So this was the new conception. But the head man, Swami, when he came and he saw all the Swamis and said, where are the disciples of Vivekananda? If they are not here, then it is like the yajna without Shiva. I am not going to be here. I won't take any food. Then naturally the organizers, they went and they invited them, and they were free from all ego. Who is it? All the Swamis are waiting only for us. They never argued. Why you have not invited me before? Now we won't go. Never said. We have finished our food. Of course there is no food. Nothing like that. They always came immediately. And these head Swami requested them to sit in both the sides of him. They got the respect. And Swami Vivekananda said, you will get Brahma Jnana. That is sufficient. The karma, that is, you have to have the faith. Abhyase pyasamarthosi mat karma paramo bhava. Mat karma. The God's work. Swami Vivekananda again and again asking, whoever will work for me, my power will enter into them. So that proves in our lives also we are so humble people. We are no one. But whatever the work that we are doing in the name of God, so it proves again and again. Then comes the 11th verse. Athaitada ashaptosi kurtum madyogamasritaha sarva karma phalatyagam tata kuruyatatmavan. Ultimate. The last option, well, you cannot do all this, okay, no problem. Whatever you do, you offer that action to me. Sarva karma phalatyagam. Sarva, everything. And what are the karmas? 3 types of karma. We think only physically we are doing, or that is karma. No. Mentally also we are going on thinking in so many ways. And that karma there, that is also karma. And this is kaika, bachika, manasika. The kaika physical, bachika through words. Sometimes we use very harsh words and we criticize others. We complain about others. That is bachika, that papa that we do. That's why Ma Sharadamani Devi said, don't find fault with others. That is called bachika. You know, most of the people, they are very good people. They are not harming anyone, but they go on criticizing each other. That is called gossip. They go on participating in that. And nowadays it has become too much. Because of in the phone you go on getting different type of messages, and this thing happened, that thing happened, immediately we think, oh, we have to act immediately. You send this message to your friends and we also send that. Papa, without knowing what is truth, we do that, papa, the sin. And that is called bachika. Then physically we are doing, and through words also we are doing, and also thoughts we are doing. The karma, only one, not only that, is the 3 different types of karma. We have to be very careful. Sarva karma phalatyagam. Now we are criticizing people. After that, can you offer it to God? We have to think about it. And suppose we are thinking in a bad things, and I have taken that vow, anything that I do, I will offer to you, O God. Sarva karma phalatyaga. Okay, I am not doing anything else, but only these 3 karma. The physically whatever I am doing, I am offering to God. Cooking, doing these, etc. All. But what about your thoughts? That also should be purified. And what is the purification? Purification of the thought? Thinking good about others, that's all. Now what is the purity? Swami Vivekananda said, expansion is life, contraction is death. And when the mind becomes expanded, when you can accept anyone, so that is the... So it in the 11th verse it says, 12th chapter, 11 verse, Sarva karma phalatyagam tata kurujatatmaban. Try your best to do that. And when you are taking the oath, oh God, whatever I do, I will offer to you. You are concerned, you are alert, every moment, any bad thought crossing your mind, no, I cannot think in that way because I have to offer it to God. I cannot offer that. Can you offer bad things to God? No. The best thing you should give. So similarly, you are not telling anything with anybody because against anyone. Appreciation is all right. Criticism, no, never. Why? Because then I have to give it to God. How can I give that? And no question of physical. So that is the way a person is completely away from all those worldly things. Then what happens? Purity. the mind is not mixing with the worldly things, where the mind will go? To God. And what is that God? That purity. And the purity is nothing but love. So this is the way. So one after another option God gave to us. Now in the 12th verse it says, Sreyo hi jnanam abhyasaj jnanat dhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma phala tyaga tyagat shanti anantaram. Sreyo hi jnana abhyasat. The jnana, when you are practicing, this abhyasa, I am going on doing without knowing actually what I am doing. Now that is not good. That's why sometimes some people, when they come to take the initiation, particularly in the Ramakrishna Mission, you always ask, have you read those books? And why you like to take the meditation? And sometimes some people, they ask to teach meditation, but why? What is the purpose of the meditation? Just curiosity. I will see it. Sometimes they will give the picture that you are sitting by the side of the river and meditating. A very nice picture. You think you will go and see it and will meditate. No. Meditation means stopping the flow of your thought. And if you are not practicing the good thought, the bad thought, it will agitate you all the time. Whether you close your eyes or open your eyes, whether you sit cross-legged or sitting on the chair, every time the mind will be with you. So the dhyana means that, to stopping the mind. And to stop the mind, one should be very careful. Why I am doing this? That should be the fast, the purpose. So here it says, Sreyo hi jnana abhyasat abhiveka purva abhyasa. Viveka means vichara. Viveka, why I am doing, is this good and it is bad? After that you are practicing is good. Jnanat, dhyana, then after that you are meditating, atmanishchaya, dhyanam vishishyate. Then you are meditating on your Atman. Where you are meditating, that is the question. What you are thinking, that is the question. So if you are not understanding this, what is the purpose of meditation, concentration? I met one gentleman and he was complaining that he learned meditation from such and such guru, and then they asked him to meditate on the top of the head, some the light and all this, and what happened? And ultimately it damaged some system in the body. He can't sleep. So this is the problem. So we go and we think that this will be happening now. He cannot sleep at all. There are many cases like this. What is the purpose of meditation? One should know. If it is for God realization, this is very good. If it to develop the concentration to study, is also good. So this is the way, the purpose we should know. Jnana dhyanam vishishyate. And then it comes dhyanat karma phala tyaga. That is the greatest one. Because you are not having any ego. It is me, it is me, it is me. Karma phala tyagam. And if you go through our scripture, you will find in the scripture everything has been dedicated in the name of the Vedavyasa. Can Vedavyasa write all those things all alone? Is it possible? There must be many people. All those, whatever they have composed, the good thing, all they have dedicated in the name of the Vedavyasa. They never just forgot that they have done something. One thing happened in the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his best friend, they were the one day sailing in a boat near the river, near the village. And that friend, he was the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wrote a commentary, so he was going on reading to his friend. And when he finished reading, the friend started crying. Now what happened? What's wrong? I was just reading my commentary. Yes, you know what happened? I also wrote the commentary on the same subject. But now after listening your commentary, now I feel, no one will read my commentary. It is nowhere near yours. It is so excellent you have expressed. So all the work that I have done for so many years is a wastage. So I am crying. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's why we worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why we consider him an avatar. He immediately threw all the pages in the river and said, your commentary will only remain. I don't need it. The Sarva Karma Phala Tyaga, that is, Karma Phala Tyaga Shanti Anantaram. We have forgotten who is his friend, what he wrote, all they have done. And what remained, this story that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sacrificed, he gave away. No name, no form. This is Tyaga Shanti Anantaram. Friends, from now the 13 to 19 verses that today we will read, and if possible we will try to explain. These are very important verses in the Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because we are all trying to realize God. And we are constantly praying to God, oh God, please look at me, please like me, love me. Isn't it? Whom God like? Whom God love? Here, very clearly, God is telling that you should be rich, or you should pronounce Sanskrit in a perfect way, or you should offer a lot of food to God, or you should offer the jewelries gold to God. No. That is okay. It is for your own satisfaction. The God loves those who are having Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam Maitra Karuna Evacha Nirmama Niraham Kara Samadukha Sukha Shami Santushta Satatam Yogi Yatatma Didha Nishchaya Mayarpita Mano Buddhi Yo Mad Bhakta Same Priyaha. In the 13th and 14th. Now let us continue up to 19. Yasmanno dijate loko lokanno dijate chaya harsha marsha bhayat begai mukto ya sachame priyaha anapeksha shuchi daksha udasino gatabhyataha sarvarambha parityagi yo mad bhakta same priyaha yo na hrishyati na dveshti na shochati na kangshati shubha shubha parityagi bhakti manaya same priyaha sama shatru cha mitre cha tatha man apomanayaho shitashna sukha dukkeshu sama shanga vivarjitaha tulla ninda stuti mauni santushta ena kenachit aniketa sthiramati bhaktiman me priyo naraha. Then the last sloka comes. Etu dharmamritamridam yathoktam paryupasate shraddhadhana matparama bhaktaste tiba me priya. The dharma amrita. Dharma amrita. Dharma means righteousness, and amrit means the excellent, the highest, the best. The word amrit using here, that's the best thing about the righteousness. Yathoktam, what has been said from in the whole chapter, particularly from 13 to 19 verses, parayupasate, Swaddadana Matparama, with great devotion and faith in me, Shraddha, the faith in me, and also Parama, the ultimately depending on me, Bhaktasteti me priyaha. Those devotees, I like them very much. Those who are practicing these. And what are those qualities? In the 13, Adveshta Sarvabhutanam. The very first verse is the Adveshta. No deshti. Now we are not the one who is not harming anyone. And that the first way it says, Adveshta Sarvabhutanam, free from hatred. Free from hatred to anyone. Swami Vivekananda, he was then as a mendicant monk in India. He was traveling the length and breadth of India. Then in near Gujarat, in the northern western part of India, suddenly he met one of his Guru Bhai, and he said to him, addressing him, Hari Bhai, because that Swami, I don't know whether I have realized God or not, but my mind has become so broad that I can live with the devil if he is there. That means the person who is with all evil, if it is there, I can adjust with him too. That is called broadness of mind. That is called Adveshta, no desha. Friends, the religion that we always practice, we always give all our concentration on the rituals. We think that fire should be lit in this way, the mantra should be chanted over here, and then this should be offered like that. It should be waved with the left hand, that should go with the right hand. That's good. That slowly makes our mind attentive. That is necessary. Like the school teaching is necessary. But if you are there in the school all through your life, if you cannot come out, I have seen in the primary schools, the children from one classroom, they are going to another classroom, and as because they will be talking, jumping, small kids, so the teacher, lady teacher, asks them to put their own right hand finger on their own lip. So all students putting their own own finger on their lip, and they are going. That means they should not talk or they should not make any sound, because the other classrooms they are passing by, so they should not disturb like that. Shall we do it all through our life and follow that type of discipline, and then we think that we are educated? No. Education is completely different. School gives us the environment, teachers, the books, library, laboratory. It helps us. But the growth should be from the within. Our brain should develop. They should understand. They should analyze. They should apply the knowledge. Then only. Similarly, religion. We go to church, we go to synagogue, we go to mosque, we go to temple, just like the school. We go there, we learn there, and then ultimately we have to go beyond that. Otherwise, how it is possible? So that is called first and foremost thing in the spirituality, in the religion, Adveshta, not hating others. How it is possible? Love. The Jesus Christ, that famous word, love thy neighbor as thyself. So that is all teachings of all the prophets, all the gods and all the avatars is this. Love, love and love. And I can love other people if I can love other people, so there is no question of hatred. Shall I hate my son? Shall I hate my daughter? Shall I hate my father? Shall I hate? I cannot. There are many defects are there. I try to remove all those defects, but I am affectionate because of my love, because of my attachment to them. Not that the teacher should not find fault with the students. Not that the parents should not try to rectify the defects of their children. They should. But at the same time, they are not doing in the way when they are criticizing others, hating others. So this is called Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. This is the first teaching to all over, everyone who comes, to all the creatures. Maitra Karuna Evacha. Maitra means the friendliness. Mitrata in Sanskrit, Mitra means friend. There are many words in Sanskrit. They say the Mitra, Suhrid, Bandhu, and different the categories. This Mitrata, with anyone you can become friend. It doesn't matter whether the difference of age or the social status, nothing. You can become friend to anyone. So this word has been used. So Maitrata, Mitra. So Sarva Bhutanam and Maitra Kurunevacha. I am friendly. What is this friendly means? I am free with them. And sometimes among the group of the friends there will be some people, they are very good and some are not like that, some are this, some are that, but they are all friends. Why? They adjust all those. Someone is very good in playing, some are very good in music, some are very good in other things, but they all club together, they are friends, they are enjoying. Why? Because they love each other. So ultimately what comes? Love. Adveshta, I am not criticizing others and not hating others. How it is possible? Love. How I can become friendly? Love. And Karuna evacha, compassionate. Karuna means to whom? So sometimes it is also said, so someone in the same profession it always happens. So when my friend and me both are, say, doctors, and he in his profession, the medical, he is very good, so I may feel jealous. Maybe a singers, maybe the actor, actresses, they feel jealous. Why? The same profession. They are not jealous with others, but this same profession. Why he is so good? Why I can't? So you will go on criticizing, not like that. What one should try to do? To try to become friend with that person. Why? If you are friend, then you can imbibe the goodness, all qualities of that particular person. How he has become so great. So I should also learn from him. So Mitrata. So this is the Mitra. So first is Adveshta. And Sarva Bhutanam, there is a common. To all being, all creatures, that is common. And Adveshta, I am not hating. Why? Because I love them. Mitrata, I should have the friendship with those who are more advanced than me. Why? Because I love them. And also the other beings. Then comes Karuna. Karuna means compassion. Those who are at my back, they could not do anything that I could do. And when I see their suffering, I should say, look at me. I got the success, and you people, most of the time people do this mistake. I have seen that the NRIs, they go to India and they will be showing all the best dresses and this, that, and all around people they'll be looking at, oh my God, what beautiful coat you see, beautiful shoe, beautiful. So why you are showing like that? And you feel so great. Oh, it is not in India you see you won't get it. In America you'll always. So why? Because of course now it has gone. All that fancy things everything is available in Indian market everywhere in all the world. Now world has become one that is good. But why this is? Because I like to see somebody suffering, if everybody is having all those things, I am not happy. Oh, everyone is having the same type of costly dress and this, that, then what? I should have everything costly and they should not have. So that is then exactly opposite. Those who are trying to become spiritual, exactly opposite they should think. Compassion. Oh my God, that poor man is not having this. And they pray to God. God, you have given me good birth, good family, And look at that man, that person. He is suffering. Please, God, help him. So this is the way you have to. Now, Karuna evach nirmamo. Nirmama means completely free from ego. Me and mine, that is called nirmama, means free from mamata. What is that? Na mama iti nirmama. It is mine, it is mine, it is mine. Every time when you think, that is completely opposite to spiritual development. A spiritual person thinks in a different way. Friends, then what we are learning from the Bhagavad Gita to become spiritual, religious, and you go beyond that, is spiritual. What is the spirituality? The religion is becoming a part and parcel of your life. That's why sometimes some people say Hinduism is not a religion. Why? Immediately they will quote Rishi Aurobindo, who said, is the way of life. Of course, because we are spiritual. So this is the way, nirmama nirahamkara. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said, if you don't have the ahamkara, the ego, then you are completely free. Nirahamkara, sama, dukkha and sukha shami. And he is equal when the people are praising him, equal. Criticizing him, equal. And he always, the shami is a forbearing. Shama, Shama, Shama. Ma Sharadamani Devi again and again say, Thakur also sometime. Sa, Sa, Sa. In Bengali, they always, but this is all three different way to pronounce. But they will pronounce in the same way, Sa, Sa, Sa. And these three Sha, Ma quoted and said, if you can practice Sajjakara, 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 then only it is possible to get the peace. Whatever may be the situation, bear it, bear it, bear it. It will surely pass. So this is Nirasama Dukkha Sukha. Friends, now this is up to 13 words we studied. In the next class, next month, from 13 to 10 we will complete. All the good qualities we have to note in some notebook. And then we have to practice a little. How much we can adopt this. If you are sincere. Otherwise it is okay. If you are sincere to develop the spiritual life, these are the points that we should note and try to imbibe. Thank you very much. And let us, is there any question? One question.
Sangeeta Banerjee is asking how we should control our scattered mind during meditation.
That is, Sumita, that's a big question, very good question. But I can quote from the Bhagavad Gita, where the same type of question Arjuna asked to Sri Krishna, and I will quote the Lord, I will quote the Sri Krishna, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha griyate. Again and again, practice again and again. Don't give up. They tell your mind every day, hey, I am your master. You are not mine. I am the master of the mind. So go on controlling that. And vairagya, those thoughts, those ideas which are disturbing your mind, give up those things. If the people, if the things, if that is disturbing you, give up that. Anything?
There is a comment from Tile. She's saying, always working so hard to dispel ignorance. Thank you over and over. Joyma.
So thank you, Tile. So this is the practice only. Go on the trying. The working, when you are working, if we can only think that I am doing for the God, we are cleaning, we are keeping things properly, all things are nothing but divine. Not that we have to go to temple to do it, anywhere, wherever we are doing. And we are doing for the betterment of others, that is divine work. And I give it to God And I always say, God, whatever little strength that you gave to me, the thought that you gave me, the knowledge that you gave me, let me do it. So I am doing it for your blessings.
Well, one more question, last second. Do feelings we have any place in our life? Since everything is projection of mind, can I trust my feeling?
This is, of course, right this moment we have to give importance to our feeling. So obviously, we have love, we have affection and all those, but at the same time, if we go on thinking, this is not ultimate. See, I have seen a mother and the son relation. You can imagine, before the birth of a child, the joy of the mother. You can imagine after the birth of a child how much mother is happy. And ultimately I saw that mother. The son is now grown up, he is a big officer, but the mother is forgetting everything because of the disease. And when the son took me to her room, inside the room, and told mother, see, the Swamiji has come, the mother recognized me, not as a person, but as a sannyasi, but asked her son, hey, who are you? Why you have entered into my house, in my room? Go away. So this is the ultimate. It may happen, God forbid, but it may happen. So that is the reason we should not be so much attached to that. So there are some fathers I know, every 15 minutes they'll be calling their son or daughter. Hey, what you are doing? Where you are there? And the daughter and the son will go on. I am just turning left. Oh, father, I am right. And there is a shop. Now, that makes the life really hell. I know one gentleman, I love him very much. Because of the mother was so eager to give him the marriage. And after the marriage, when people started praising that newly married wife of her son, she became jealous and then asked her son, if you are my son, then keep your wife at her parental house, and till I am in my life, you should not bring her to this. When she died, after crossing 100, and by that time, everything was over. Still these two, they are there. They could not become husband and wife and properly could not come together. That is fun to me, but for us. But think about the suffering of the son because of the jealousy of the mother. Why so much of attachment on my son? So we have to consider, we have to understand this. Yes.
One more question from Pragna Bhattacharya. She's saying, how do we forgive and love people who always criticize and showing hatred on us?
Pragya, is a very practical question that you have asked. But this is called spiritual practice. When you think that, that Swami did 12 years practice and he went to Himalaya and he said, that is nothing. When you are living in the household and controlling your mind and blessing those and praying for those who are hating you, that is called spiritual practice. So you have to practice that. Those who are hating you, criticizing you, creating problem for you, they will be nowhere. Someday, all the time will forget them. Then you will be always there. So it will be, if you can develop that strength into your mind, when they are criticizing, just listen to those and then go on praying for them. God, please forgive them, for they do not know what they do. What Jesus said. These are the great words. Now we will conclude by quoting from this poem, the last sloka, last verse of the Gita Dhyana. Yam Brahma Varunendra रुद्रमरुत स्तुन्नन्ति दिव्यैस्तवै वेदै साङ्ग पदक्रमोपनिषदै गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थित तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदु सुरासुरजना देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरिः ॐ तत्सत्।